Hi, sixth graders. Today we're going to be doing some traditional Irish cooking, and we're going to be making something called box tea, which are traditional Irish pancakes. Now, I had you submit as part of your assignment this week some recipes from Ireland, and three of you came up with the same recipe. We have AP, RW, and RD in sixth grade. But AP, I'm going to be using this student's report too for some background information because the student did such a terrific job, a lot of detail. So I'm just finishing peeling up my praties. Praties is a traditional word for potatoes in Ireland. P-R-A-T-T-I-E-S, praties. So I'm going to set this one aside, but first let's learn about this meal called box tea. So this is right from AP's report. I love it. Box tea is a potato cake that is eaten mostly in Northern Ireland. It is Ireland's best known potato dish. Its name comes from the Irish Aran Broch tea, meaning poorhouse bread. But it could also come from the word for bakehouse, which is a bekas. It is thought to have originated in the late 18th and early 19th centuries when potato harvest was not doing well and the quality of potatoes were not good enough for boiling. The potato pulp was grated and into cakes and made into flagstones or griddles. Box tea was considered an indulgent dish and is a bit of a delicacy on the farm because it takes time to prepare. It can be eaten with just butter or sugar, but is often served alongside a full Irish breakfast of eggs, bacon, sausage, black pudding, toast, and tomato slices. So I'm going to read off some of the ingredients here, not all of the ingredients. We're going to use some russet potatoes, praties. We're going to use half cup of all-purpose flour, white flour, 4 tablespoons of salted butter for frying. Also, a cup of milk, 1½ teaspoon salt, a half teaspoon pepper, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 2 eggs lightly beaten, 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. And you can add some garnishes like green onions and chives and sour cream after you cook it. And I'll have this recipe for you. Thanks to AP, wonderful job. I will post it with this lesson so you could try to make this at home too. All right, so I have got some russet praties here. I'm going to cook these up. I'm going to boil them so I can mash them. So I'm going to cut them into thirds, I think would be good. And these are going to take, I'm going to check them after about 20 minutes. We'll see how they do. Careful not to let that splash onto my hand. Now I'm leaving this last pratty to do some grating with because one way to make this stick together like a good batter is to use an uncooked potato as part of this. So I have my grater. I'm actually a little afraid to use my wife's processor. It scares me. So we're going to do it by hand. All right. While I'm doing this, I've got a couple jokes for you as always when I'm cooking. Let's see, the first one. I'm standing there watching 2 men out in a field from the Parks Department working. And the one man's got a shovel and he's digging a hole. And the other man, he's following behind the first man and he's filling the hole up. I found this very curious. So I went up to the men and I said, how come one of you is digging a hole and the other one's filling the hole up? And he said, oh, this is a lot of work, but it's usually a 3-man team. And he says, the second man, he called in sick today. He's the one who plants the trees. Get it? I thought it was funny. Second joke is, my wife and I are driving down the road. She's driving. She says, I don't trust that the turn signal's working very well. I said, oh, I'll stick my head out and check it. So I stuck my head out and I said, she goes, is it working well? And I said, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. All right, that was a bad one. Almost done grating here. Trying not to grate my thumb. Let's see. Third gel. Oh, I'm stuck. I'll have to think about it. I have to save that for part 2. So this is going to be a 3-part series. On the next part, I'm going to show you the dry and wet ingredients, and then we'll go on from there. So I'll see you back again in a few minutes when you click on video number 2.